Hello, 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 hello. Brendan O'Connell, the Belltower Boy, Kiedi Taromeko, at the touristy end of town, overlooking Los Arcos on portrait mode. The war in Iran, a quick update, because I have some things to do. Everything's going splendiferously well. If you hear anyone start leading with Donald Trump this or Donald Trump that or President Trump, just immediately ignore them. Please ignore them. No one giving any sort of analysis would ever lead with Donald Trump. Donald Trump is a 6'4" orange clown, infatuated with his pee-pee, who's been surrounded by pedophiles for 40 years. He's a failed businessman 600 times over. He couldn't even run a drug money laundering casino in Atlantic City without making it go bust. That's how incompetent, stupid, cocaine to the gills, doesn't drink, but he takes plenty of coke and Adderall, I assure you. He's a piece of the highest order. We should have all worked that out by now. What you need to start with is when someone says the Trump administration or the Pentagon or the US intelligence community, then maybe start listening to them. But if they dare start with an orange clown's name with a little pee-pee, because that is literally all Donald Trump is worried about, that you will find out that he doesn't have big hands like Brendan. He has little hands because he has a little pee-pee. But he's infatuated with his pee-pee. I go on about it because that's literally the level that Donald Trump operates at. Is he entertaining? Yes. He is a World Wrestling Federation compere, actor, and reality TV show host. That should be obvious. The man was worth about $250 million. All right, he was not a billionaire. He was a half-wit, a literal half-wit who was an informer for the FBI for 40 years. And his job was to run around and organize drug money from Russia and other interesting places to get them to invest it in US banks and US property development, where the FBI and US intelligence community would fill those gangsters' apartments with hidden cameras and microphones. And that's what Trump does. He's just a little, vile, disgusting rat. So, getting back to the excellent war. However, without question, he is one in a million. There will never be another Donald Trump. For the history of the universe, there will never be another Donald Trump. He is, as Bannon says, a tungsten carbide depleted uranium armor penetrator. I can't help but watch and laugh myself stupid as he pulled apart the UN, the EU, with J.D. Vance, Peter Thiel's boyfriend, and Marco Rubio. To give credit, Marco Rubio is doing a very good job. J.D. Vance will be far more presidential. Will be our first closet bisexual president. Oh no, that was President W. Bush and Jeff Gannon. So we've got to get it right. And why don't we all just be happy to see the arse end of the orange clown? Please, por favor, please. But he is doing a splendiferous job because he is like a Kodak disposable camera. When they're finished with him, they will just toss him away to Mar-a-Lago, where he will annoy Melania and take his approximately $8 to $12 billion he's going to take with him out of those meme coins, of which the IRS appear not interested, CIA counterintelligence is not interested, FBI counterintelligence is apparently not interested either. It's because he works for those people. And he will walk away with billions and looks like a plane. Let's not talk about that. Maybe one day the rich will be taxed in America at 47%, the billionaire class. Maybe one day Fauci will be in jail and Bill Gates will be in jail. Let's not forget about that. But I do want you to forget about that. And I want you to forget about Pax Silica and the deep penetration of US critical infrastructure. In fact, world critical infrastructure, which they have probably mitigated to a large degree now. They just want it all to go away now. These things are handled quietly. Can we just move along, please? Let's go back to the war. Back to the war, everyone. They need this thing to go on a while longer, unless they've got a China blockade. The blockade is like a gift, because they can really extend a blockade forever. Excuse me while I swap hands. Said Peter Thiel to J.D. Vance. Wah, 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 wah. Come on, you love it. I'll still rather JD Vance. I'm sorry. I know he's complete fake, made up, groomed from, but he does a good job. Let's face it. He delivers his lines. He's actually presidential, unlike the half-wit. But still, it's hard to imagine life without Donald Trump, isn't it? It's like a strange feeling. It will never be the same again. There will never be another Donald Trump. God could not make two of those. Nonetheless, blockade of Taiwan is just too perfect. They can string that along. They need a long series of events now as they get things sorted, distract populations, do the usual things that they do. Nobody's starving. This is managed. The AI is just going gangbusters. The AI is working up beautifully. The word is that this thing is just more powerful than they ever imagined, and it's doing a really good job, except if your daughter was at an elementary school, girls, which was literally sharing a wall with an IRGC, so to be fair. But isn't it amazing how Iran didn't milk that for all it's worth? Because I just began to think it didn't happen, but apparently it did. And there was about 100 dead. Iran never milked that. Let me assure you, Iran was on their knees, begging, before the first bomb was ever dropped. They always beg, just like Maduro begged, just like that Cuban half-wit begs, because they've never seen US power applied before. It's never been applied. This is the first time US power is being thrashed in everyone's face, and they're all sitting there going, is my Swiss bank account full yet? All angling and hoping for a better deal. All right, Mahmoud Ahmadinejad will make the comeback. And then you will have a real Iranian nationalist in charge instead of these little Swiss Chatham House boy whores, City of London whores. And they will sit and they will do a deal. And he will develop Iran. And the US will help invest in Iran. The worry is to make sure the Eurofags don't go getting into Iran. What would be better is if the United States would kindly free the parasite from Europe and free the European people. We're just not sure if that's going to happen right now, unfortunately. So, with these things in mind, you are never, ever, 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 ever going to meet the half-wits online. Things are not going well for Iran, obviously. So, as they take out as many hardliners as they can and leave in who they can, you know, the foreign minister's sitting there defiant. We're not negotiating. Of course they're negotiating. They were signing things left and right before the war began. This is a slow process of they will pick up the pieces when it comes along. It's just that obviously Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, the Iranian nationalist, will have to be, maybe they'll do a power sharing deal at first. We'll see how the tactics unfold. But once you understand how much he despised the clerics and their corruption, how popular he is amongst the poor and the rural class, the conservatives and the real Iranian nationalists, once you understand that, you begin to understand that, oh yes, that is the logical choice. Exactly. And the great thing about Mahmoud Ahmadinejad is he's a realist and a pragmatist, and he wants his country to thrive. He's not an actor. He's not a stage actor for the City of London Chatham House whoredom. You know, he's not Tim Pool on 100,000 a week to sit there and say, Ukraine is the enemy. I mean, he's still there. Tim Pool's still there. Isn't it amazing? The little whores. The little whores never die, none of them. And just enjoy the show, all right? Just thank God every day you're in safe and you're secure and your children are not getting bombs dropped on them every day. But it's going to unfold, so you might as well enjoy it. Get your popcorn out. Candace is going to give us another rundown on Charlie Kirk. Tell us everything we already know. Yes, Candace, we know what a 30-06 does to a giant